Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am super grateful to have you. And if you are returning, y'all the real MVP, you already know. So today, my friends, I want to talk to you guys about a tarot deck that I've personally been wanting for a very long time. It just never behooved me to get it. It didn't seem like a tarot deck that would do well in reviews. It didn't seem like a tarot deck that people really cared too much about. But, you know, if you guys want to stick around and see what I gotta say, feel free. Anyways, so this one here, you already saw the title, you know what we're working with. It's gonna be the OK Tarot. So, you guys, if you know me, you know, I love pink. Like, I unironically really love pink. If I could, everything would be pink all the time. But I realize that doesn't appeal to everyone, right? So that's why I was like, this is kind of a tarot deck where I'm not too sure how people feel about it. So as you can see from the box, it's very pink, right? Box is super pink. And it's very simplistic in the imagery. On the actual cellophane wrap itself, it had images of the cards and then, you know, like a little description. I didn't care to keep the cellophane wrap to show you guys. I'm sorry, I don't. But it actually came with stickers too. I think in the walkthrough, like I originally did the walkthrough the day that I got this, which was quite a while ago, but in the original walkthrough I do believe you can also see the stickers. It had the star card and the ace of wands. I put them both in a little notebook, and it's a notebook I use every day. It's very cute. So you can see when you open the box, there's your suits around there, which I think is a really cute little touch. Nothing special, nothing exciting, right? And the book itself also super pink, super tiny. Again, nothing too big, nothing too special. So the idea of this deck is that it's a simple tarot deck for everyone, right? You're gonna see that marketed all over the place on this deck, and it's not perfect, but it's okay. And I really like that because as we were talking about in the magical tarot, I felt like I was more connected to the deck because of the simplistic imagery of the drawings, right? It felt like something I could actually do myself. Made me not feel like an art connoisseur. It made me feel like a regular person using a regular person's deck. And sometimes that's a nice change of pace, especially depending on the type of energy you want to convey in the reading. So for this one, as you can see, it starts here, it says Major Arcana, and in the Major Arcana it says broader themes and life lessons learned in our individual journey, which, yes, if you guys didn't know, the Major Arcana is supposed to be big life lessons, right? I like to talk about the Major Arcana as like the things that are destined, the things that are being brought in by the universe itself. Very big, right? Very big lessons, things that we do on the wheel, right? The world, the wheel of fortune, our life cycle, the wheel itself. I just like to call it the big wheel. But yeah, that's what the majors are. And then in your minors, it does also say here, it says focus themes on life's daily events and challenges. And I really like this. You guys, if you've been watching my reviews for a long time, you know I'm very picky. I'm very particular about my books in the tarot decks because I do feel like any person on any part of their journey can pick up a tarot deck and try to learn on it. No matter what I say as a reviewer, if it is a beginner-friendly deck or not, people are still going to gravitate towards it. I literally had people in my Goetia Tarot comment section talking about how they want to start with that deck. They're like, I don't care if I can't learn on it. I want to start with this deck. I want this to be my first deck. So literally, you can, you know, tell somebody this isn't a beginner deck until you're blue in the face, but if they want it, they're gonna get it regardless. So having something like this that is simple yet educational in tiny little snippets is very important because a lot of people are going to read it and ingest it whether they realize it or not. And as you can see from this, there's no extended meanings, right? Nothing big, nothing to ingest, nothing to memorize. I really like this a lot because most tarot decks, again, they're going to try to give you the full extent of the meaning of each card, and they're really going to, you know, define it. And even in things like the True Heart Intuitive Tarot, the book itself talks about like the creator's experiences through life that got them to understand that card, right? So something like this is just as helpful as the Biddy Tarot, is just as helpful as the Labyrinthos Golden Thread, right? Keywords, short, sweet, and to the point. That's all you need. And to be quite honest, I feel like this is a book that you can carry around with you, throw it in your bag if you're trying to like learn on the fly, if you're trying to memorize some things, even if you're just trying to freshen up a little bit. It does have a little bit of an introduction to the interpretation, a tiny introduction to spreads and things like that. So I mean, all in all, a couple minutes talking about about the book, it's really all you need. It's not a lot. When I first got this deck, I was a little underwhelmed, to be quite honest, because I have always seen it around. I really wanted it, but this is one of those decks that I feel like I saw more knockoffs of when I was looking for it, so I just never bought it because I was like, I don't want to buy a knockoff. I don't know which one the original is, right? I don't want to go wrong with it, and I never cared enough about it to go out of my way to actually research it and find the original, right? You guys, you already know, if I want it, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the original, I'm gonna get it. So to have this deck kind of fall into my lap was very helpful because it kind of reminded me. I was like, yeah, this is a deck I have wanted for quite a few years. Every time I see it, I'm like, that's really cute. I really like that. And I just never got it. So it's a bookstore deck, of course. I walked in the bookstore, I saw it, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm in need of a new deck. I'm not in need of a new deck. I'm in need of some content. That's what that was. But let's take a look at the deck. It's no longer in order, and I will tell you why. But here you can see soft gloss, not super hard glossed. It is not pink. Like the cards themselves are not pink. I genuinely thought it was going to be pink paper, right? Or pink plastic. I thought it was going to be pink through and through, and it was not. So to see that it was actually white cardstock painted pink, I was like, oh, okay. It was a little disappointing because I was really stoked on like the idea of an all pink deck. Clearly that has nothing to do with anything, right? The color of the sides is kind of dumb because, you know, eventually even gilding chips off, comes off, wears down depending on how much you use the deck, so it's not a big deal. It's just one of those things where I was like, oh, it's not pink cardstock. Yeah, just kind of is something I wanted to point out. But there you go, pink card, super simplistic imagery. You have this little, drawn on border, and I really like that too because each card is drawn on differently. Some of them are identical, but some of them are not, and I really like that because it gives a sense of individuality to each card that you don't even notice on most decks, right? Because they're always framed the same way. Everything's always computer generated, so they're always, identical to the, millimeter to the point. And it just, to see the lines being sloppily drawn, like someone really tried to put a border on there and they were like, it's cute. I love it. I really love it. Same as the Magical Tarot. I just really love that feel of someone just drew this and handed it to you. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel comfortable, like I'm not out of my league learning tarot, right? So to have these little images where they're super simplistic. Now, when I was a little bit younger in my journey, I had an issue with that. I did not like that. Now that I've been here a couple of years, I have come to appreciate it because while researching tarot, the history of tarot in its entirety, in the process of writing my book, I've had to do some research. So in researching that, I know that this is how tarot decks were originally created. I feel like these are things you can see in older decks. When you're reading about the reason that the minors were created in that manner, it is because, one, technically the whole bringing of pictures into the minors wasn't really done until the Rider-Waite-Smith, right? But for the minors to be something where it's more of the readers or the querents' free will, these are everyday little life challenges, right? You don't need too much. You don't need like the full pictures, the interpretation, and I feel like that's where the Rider-Waite kind of skipped a beat, where yes, it made the Rider-Waite famous, and it made it so big, and it made it the basis on which we all read today, putting pictures in the minors, right? Putting, full images. But it also loses kind of the spirit of tarot a little bit, just a little bit. Chill out, just a little bit. Because the originals, the really old ones, again, we came from playing cards, right? We came from very simplistic, very watered down imagery. So I really like that this kind of gets to the roots of each card, the roots, right? You don't even see the horses in this chariot. You see the actual chariot itself. So how does that change the meaning of the card? This is no longer a fight between forces. This is no longer dark versus light. This is no longer this way or that way. This is no longer two horses driving the chariot. It's no longer the universe pulling the reins and the person being taken for a ride, right? This is literally talking about the chariot itself, the person inside of the cart, the person driving the chariot, the person who's taking the destiny into their own hands. And when it comes to something like this with your court cards having just the crown and the suit, again, I feel it leaves it to the interpretation of the reader what they're actually feeling in the deck. And I really, really like this because it challenges me to actually think about the card. It really makes you think about the actual roots of each card. It makes you think about the genuine skeleton of what this card is supposed to mean. Not only thinking about the keywords and the meaning itself, but it makes me personally try to think about what it looks like in the Rider-Waite-Smith, because again, I learned on a Rider-Waite-Smith, and I'm always really, really pushing that Rider-Waite-Smith to everybody, right? Like, you need to learn on the Rider-Waite-Smith because every single deck is based off of it. But at the same time, technically not. Technically, there were decks before the Rider-Waite-Smith, and they did kind of look like this. So to have it be so simplistic, so watered down, just 9 cups on there, no matter how you feel about it, right? It's important that the creator of this deck decided to put the actual just 2 swords on there, right? Because this is supposed to be a simple tarot deck. So to have it be a simple tarot deck and to put the imagery of the person with the swords and the water and the moon, right? That's not so simplistic, because at the actual bones of the card itself, it is about the swords. It is about the swords being crossed. The stuff about the person with the blindfold, the water, and the moon, that's added to the card. That's added to help you remember the card. That's added to make it a little bit easier to interpret, and that's added to let your intuition run away with, right? In the reading, it's added for pulp. It's added for me, to be quite honest. But the card itself is about these swords. It's about the 2 swords being crossed. It's about each sword talking about, communication or whatever, and being crossed and being, indecisive, being blocked off, things like that. So that's what I really love about this. You literally just saw me in real time try to think about what the 2 of Swords is about in its bones, right? That's what I love about this deck. And I made this a bathroom deck, jokingly, but I did make a TikTok about it where I was like, I've never had a bathroom deck before. And if you guys haven't seen my TikTok, the reason that I made it a bathroom deck isn't because I'm like reading tarot on the toilet. It's because I spend a lot of time in my bathroom, okay? Just because, I'm a mommy and sometimes I need a hiding place. Like, my daughter will always be in my Kool-Aid 24/7. It just is what it is. So sometimes I need to hide in the bathroom. Sometimes she'll take the bathroom door as a, sometimes she will, sometimes she won't, right? She'll sit there jiggling the handle going nuts. Mommy, 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 right? It just is what it is. She's gonna be 3. But when I'm in the bathroom sometimes, having my little me time with my music on or whatever, I will be like, damn, I wish I had a deck in here. And then I'm like, nah, that's weird. That's kind of gross, having a deck in the bathroom, right? And that's like something that was conditioned to me when I was younger. You can't be spending time in the bathroom. You can't do things in the bathroom. Like, you get in the bathroom, you do your business, you get out. So I've started to make the bathroom a place of like safety for me. I'm starting to clean it up and like dress it the way that I want to, and really taking ownership of the space and realizing it's just another room, and I do spend a lot of time in that room. So bathroom deck. And having this in there is a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of fun because this is it's become a different kind of deck to me, a different kind of energy, and I really have a little sweet spot for it. And she mean as all hell. I don't know why, but she's mean. She's gossipy. She's like a gossipy little bitch, and maybe that is a reflection of me and who I am right now in my journey. Right? We'll never know. We'll never know how the energy of a deck is created, but she genuinely just pops off, and she'll give me the full story, and she'll be like, girl, sit down, take a seat, let me tell you the tea. And I really love it. And again, that is my personal experience with this deck. Again, I genuinely believe that our perception of a deck creates its energy. So I feel like it could also be a reflection of my energy at the moment, which has been imbued in the deck. I don't know. So don't go getting this deck expecting it to be a gossipy bitch, right? It's gonna be whatever you create with it. It just, that's how, you know, energy works. I don't know. They're pieces of paper at the end of the day, right? They're just a tool. So although the imagery in the majors is simplistic, it may bother some people. I do feel, as someone who has over 60 tarot and oracle decks, that this is a nice change of pace for me. That does not mean that it will serve you in the way that you want it to just because I gave it a good review. Okay, that's very important. I hope you guys understand that. I just wanted to, you know, get in here and talk to you guys about it for a quick minute because genuinely, this is a deck I always wanted, only because it's pink. Only because it's pink, solely because it's pink. This is that Pepto-Bismol kind of pink. I mean, she shuffles right? I'm not super big on bridge shuffling my cards at the moment because I don't care for reading reversals at the moment. Again, that changes off and on. My style as a reader changes off and on, which is why my bond with decks changes off and on. But I just, it's aight. And that's the thing. It's the okay tarot. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It's okay. It's aight. It's simple. It's nice. It's cool. It just is. And that's what I like about it. It's not trying. It's not trying to be the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's not trying to be the Thoth. It's not trying to be its predecessors. It just is. It's standing alone. It's making a name for itself. And it's like, if you like it, cool. If you don't, also cool. And I think that's why I vibe with this deck so much, because it just is. And it's nice. It's refreshing for a tarot deck because you know, the tarot's been redone, reimagined thousands, millions of times, right? And everybody wants to put their own spin on the art because everybody, you know, that does this has an idea about how it could be improved, or they just want to put themselves in the tarot, right? And this is just nice. It's a nice change of pace, and I really appreciate it. I really thoroughly enjoy it. So I will, you know, link it down below if you guys want it, if you care for it. The cards themselves are not super big. I don't think this is Rider-Waite size. I think it might be a tiny smidge smaller. It's not too thick. The cardstock is not thick. But again, because it's not, you know, finished or gilded or anything, be careful with it. I'm sure it will wear down. But again, because it's not, same thing. It's not a hard gloss. It's also not a matte. So I think it'll be okay. I think it'll stand the test of time for you if this is one of those decks that you want to throw in your purse or your backpack, or you just want to use it all the time when you don't want to have the extra pizzazz of the Rider-Waite-Smith or like decks, right? So that's all I got to say about this one. I'm just really super excited about it. It's pink. I don't know what to tell you guys. If someone were to make a pink glitter deck, like if it was like gilded with glitter, oh my gosh. Or even a holographic, right? Tons of decks are gilded holographic. It would just be a fun little spin on this. Even like a special edition with gold gilding on this one. I think that would be like my favorite deck just because it's pink. So it's just one of those things where I know not everyone's going to care for it. I know most people aren't going to care for it, but me personally, I'm very excited to have it. I'm very excited to play with it, and I'm very excited to be able to incorporate it in my daily life. So, you know, tell me what you guys think about this deck down below. I'm genuinely interested to know if you've actually ever seen this deck. Have you ever actually encountered this deck? I've never seen anyone read with it, like readers on YouTube and TikTok and things like that. I've never, ever, ever, ever seen anybody read with it. with it ever. Most decks that I run across, I know of a time that I've seen it in a tarot reading. This one, I haven't, ever. I've only ever seen it being sold. So again, that kind of added to its charm a little bit for me. I'm like, you know, let me make my name with it. I don't know if I used this deck in a recent reading. I feel like I did, but I don't remember. But anyways, I just wanted to catch you guys up because I had quite a few decks sitting on the shelf that I have not introduced, but I have been using in videos. So that's what I got for you today, my friends. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you made it to the end, please do me a big favor and leave me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you actually watched the video all the way through, and of course helps push my content to everyone else. And you know, my link tree's in the description, of course, as always. If you guys want to check out my socials, you want to check out what I'm doing, if you want to follow me on TikTok, I post on there pretty much daily. I'm more of a real person over there as well, and you'll see more tarot content over there for sure. I do little readings, I do tiny little reviews. I also post my walkthroughs on TikTok as well, so that if you don't want to sit through a 20-30 minute video, you don't particularly have to, right? I really hope that wherever you guys are, you have a beautiful, wonderful day, my friends. Thank you so much for being here and spending a minute with me today. And go check out the walkthrough. Of course, I will link it in the description for you guys. Maybe I'll take some time to figure out how to put the little info card up. But yeah, of course, the walkthrough is there for you guys if you want it. And I'm so excited about the next one. I'm doing another one. Go check it out. Of course, you'll see it. Anyways, have a beautiful, wonderful day, my friends, and blessed be. Actually, think about the heart of the card. Oh my gosh, my aunt made fun of me one time for saying the heart of the cards, and I straight up just said the heart of the cards. Anyways.